Hey everyone! Today I had the honor of sitting down with Dale Salwak, the author of Writers and Their Mothers, an elegant collection of the undeniable impact that mothers have on literature and creativity. We're talking personal background, artistic choices, and what inspired the book. So, what drew you to the unique subject of exploring the relationships between writers and their mothers?
Well, that goes back to 2013. I happened to be reading a book by Alexander McCall Smith. The title of the book is What Can W.H. Auden Do for You? And I came across the following quote from the book. There may be no book on the mothers of poets or artists in general, but it might one day be written and would be, I think, an enlightening read. And that was the catalyst. The comment touched off a whirl of thoughts in my mind. And from that point on, I started working on the project.
As both a writer and an academic, how do you choose which literary themes or questions are worth pursuing in book form?
First of all, every book I've done has started as a question that's haunting me. And that question leads to five, and that leads to 10. And then, secondly, fairly familiar with the literature out there. And as the Times Literary Supplement said when I did a podcast for them, why has nobody ever thought of this?
How has your own personal background or relationship with your mother influenced your interest in this topic?
My mother was really my ideal reader all my life. And in my work from the very beginning, seeking to evoke the pride of my mother as well as my father. In the case of writers and their mothers, she read with immense and varied pleasure each of the essays as they came in. Their truthfulness and their amazing sincerity moved her deeply. She grew up in a literary background, and so I valued her feedback.
Did any particular writer-mother relationship surprise you or challenge your expectations during the editing process?
Each of the essays surprised me in some way. That was one of the delights of putting this book together.
What recurring patterns or themes did you notice across the essays in how mothers influenced their children's creative lives?
Well, many of the contributors evoke the ideals of fond and loving memories. Their mothers are understanding, they are selfless, spiritual, tender, protective, reassuring. But then the other spectrum is just the opposite. These are mothers who didn't seem to have a understanding or a tenderness for their children. These are tortured mothers who ignored, interfered with, who smothered, who abandoned their children. The book is divided almost 50% interesting along both spectrums, the kind, tender-hearted, spiritual, loving, supportive mothers, and then the opposite, tortured, interfered, smothered their children. And yet, ironically, out of that came some of the best writing